Beachgoers on the Spanish coast are baffled after a mysterious 13-foot creature washed up on shore.
Is it a Loch Ness monster, a water dinosaur, or even some sort of sea dragon?
From the remnants of the past to the oddities defying explanations, once on the river, anything could be expected. So get yourself ready to explore what terrifying was discovered on the edge of a dry river. White blob. Discovered on the shores of a beach in Oriental Mindoro, Philippines in 2018, this gigantic sea creature is a sight to behold. Covered in white fur-like fibers and roughly the size of a truck, it has left many people bewildered. Estimated to be 20 feet or 6 meters long, this mysterious beast has garnered attention. Although it hasn't been officially identified, locals have dubbed the globster. Fisher and law enforcement officer Vox Crusader suggested it might be the remains of a whale, but further testing is necessary for a precise classification. To conduct tests, Crusader had to endure the unpleasant odor of the decaying creature. Interestingly, a similar creature washed ashore in the Dingad Islands in February 2016, measuring the same size, later confirmed to be a whale carcass. Ghost turtle.
Somebody let me know, what is this? It's half turtle.
In March 2023, a video surfaced online showing a strange creature amidst the river's bizarre inhabitants. This odd animal was not lurking in the deep, but chilling at the surface. It resembled a mix between a chicken and something else, leaving experts on Reddit scratching their heads. Its eyes appeared normal, but everything else about it was odd. It swam casually, nibbling at something from the person filming. Its ghostly white appearance made some think it was an albino. With a shell-like structure on its back, some speculated it was part turtle. However, the creature's true identity remained a mystery. Enigmatic creature. A colossal squid or a gigantic river creature? The mysterious beast seen in the widely shared video has baffled experts, who remain unsure of its true nature. Some suggested it was a globster, but researchers have dismissed this idea. There was speculation that it could be a decaying whale that ended up on the shore, turning into an unrecognizable mass. Ventriloquist doll. In a small town where everyone knows each other, feeling safe is common. But if something strange pops up, like a spooky human-sized ventriloquist doll, it can be unsettling. Once, in the little Mexican town of San Antonio La Espero, in 2020, folks found what seemed like a wrapped human body floating in the river. It turned out to be a scary doll. One eye was wide and blue, but the other was burned and blackened, making it even scarier. People couldn't figure out why someone would toss it in such a spooky way. They tried burning it, but it took a few tries because it was moist from being in the water. This convinced them it was cursed. Ventriloquist dolls already have a bad rep for being spooky, so most folks believed it was cursed. Odd shaper. Not far from the dry river area and not floating on the water's surface, a peculiar creature was discovered near the riverbank. It happened when a man searching for his lost pet came across something truly strange lying in the muddy ground. At first, puzzled, he decided to examine it closely with the help of a tree branch he held. The creature had pinkish skin, a slippery and rigid body, and unfamiliar features. It truly looked like the result of a failed scientific experiment. But as none of its characteristics resembled any known life form, some thought it might be the decaying body of an amphibian. But nobody was confident enough to declare anything about this strange creature. Mysterious skeleton.
And those are rib bones. And they're ginormous rib bones.
The video showed a person on a boat who discovered a large skeleton near a riverbank, looking at its massive size.
I mean, it's a ginormous skeleton.
The man was unsure what animal it belonged to, speculating it might be a fish due to the size of the bones.
And most fish, I don't know of any fish that would be that big.
As the man was investigating the entire scene, he also came across a detached skull that belonged to the skeleton. The person mentions hearing coyotes at night and wonders if they're connected to the skeleton's presence. However, according to the netizens, this was probably a feast party for aliens. Wetland Blackie.
What is that, Mom?
In 2021, a boy strolling by a river stumbled upon a strange creature slithering in the water. It had dark, slimy skin, no limbs, and an unusual head. The critter was seen squeezing its body. The video was uploaded online for identification, but its origin remained unknown. If you have any insights, feel free to share your thoughts on what this wetland creature could be. Well, we believe it to be some larva monster straight out of the Scooby-Doo series. Relax swimmer. The fishermen spotted something strange bobbing in the water upside down. They wondered if it was just taking a rest or if something more troubling had occurred. As they drew closer, the atmosphere grew tense, their hearts beating fast with anticipation of what lay below. When the odd creature drifted nearer, they saw it was the decapitated body of a crocodile. This discovery left them deeply worried, pondering what could have befallen such a powerful predator to leave it in such a state. Tiny shells.
I don't know what they're doing.
A strange object washed up on Buryport Beach in Carmarthenshire, Wales, baffling beachgoers. Covered in barnacles and shells, it puzzled everyone who saw it. The object's identity was obscured by the tiny shells, making it hard to determine what it was. People captured footage and shared it online, drawing attention to the mysterious find. Witnesses noticed worm-like creatures emerging from the shells, adding to the intrigue. Some speculated it might be part of a shipwreck or driftwood taken over by barnacles. Despite guesses, the object's true nature remains a mystery, leaving people amazed and unsure. Alien fossil. Scientists were puzzled when a massive alien-like creature washed up on a riverbank. It lacked fins or a tail, ruling out any fish species. Some initially thought it was an extraterrestrial, while others suggested it might be an oceanic chupacabra. Later, the scientific community admitted uncertainty about the creature's identity, but speculated it could be a new discovery. Such unexpected appearances of creatures could be frightening. Monster file. A bunch of tourists were sailing on the waters in Port Blair, Andaman, and Nicobar Islands when they spotted a massive saltwater crocodile lounging on a sunken rock. This croc seemed to be around 23 feet long and weighs over 2,500 pounds. The locals dubbed this reptile the Port Blair Giant and believe it might be the largest saltwater crocodile. You can spot it even from afar, indicating it's a creature you should definitely steer clear away from. The creepy crawl. Can you identify this peculiar green-headed creature swimming here? It didn't resemble an otter or a beaver. Surprisingly, it was a sloth. These animals demonstrated astonishing aquatic prowess, swimming at remarkable speeds. However, once they left the water, their agility vanished, and they struggled immensely on land. Perhaps scientists have misjudged them, and these sloths are truly marine creatures. But just observing the back of the creature will give you quite an eerie sight, right? Croc mummy. As strange as it sounds, some crocs got mummified by nature. Archaeologists found them when they were cleaning sand pits near the dried-up River Nile. They were shocked to find big parts of ancient reptiles, with 5 just being heads and 5 others being whole dried-up bodies. There's another cool find in Australia a few years ago. They found the remains of an old crocodile, which made scientists rethink where crocodiles come from. This old crocodile, called Kenfracasuchus saracognotus, lived on Earth 95 million years ago. River serpent. Now, here's a fellow with guts of steel, casually grappling with a titanic anaconda. Just catching sight of it would make most folks break into a cold sweat, but he's out here giving it a high five as it passes by. This anaconda decided to make a grand appearance at Lake Palmas, showing off its colossal 20-foot stature. Talk about making waves! Quite literally. While other snakes prefer to stay hidden underwater, this anaconda wanted to show its massive glory, probably going in a hole underwater. Octowater.
Flip! Come here, Flip!
A golden retriever was playing in the waters of a river. Then it encountered a huge creature, which, according to the footage, appeared to be a massive octopus. The owner filming got super worried about seeing this.
And in the video, there's about 3 seconds where she's disappeared, and I was like, oh, my heart dropped.
The dog disappeared underwater for a moment, making everyone freak out. But guess what? The dog popped up again, totally fine. After this crazy river adventure, people couldn't stop wondering how the dog got away safely. Was the octopus or the creature feeling generous? Or maybe the dog just has a knack for making friends? We'll never know for sure. But one thing's certain, this river story will be talked about for a long time. Soviet tank. In 2016, a guy found a tank in the Don River in Russia. He didn't think it was a big deal until he pulled it out. It was a T-34 Soviet tank from the Stalingrad tractor factory. Over 60 years old. Surprisingly, there were no human remains inside, and it was in good shape. No gunshot marks or fire damage. This tank is the only intact one left from that time. Others were destroyed in battles during the war against Germany. Some locals think Soviet troops sank it to stop enemies from getting it. But its weapons were still there. Another theory is it fell off a pontoon bridge into the river, which seems more likely because other stuff was found nearby. Experts said the tank weighs about 30 tons and could be restored, but it'll take time to work properly. Floridian giant. If you heard this in the middle of the night, I'd likely pass out. A massive alligator was spotted calmly moving up the shore of a lake in Florida. Boaters encountered this enormous beast while exploring the river. When they heard scary grunts, they wisely turned back. It's no wonder. Just look at the size of this creature. It was probably several hundred pounds and measured at least 12 to 15 feet long. Even seeing a giant like this can give you nightmares. Serpent swim. In a video from China, a large creature was seen swimming in the Yangtze River. The footage, taken in Yuzhang, showed a dark, snake-like form about 10 feet long. Many people speculated about what it could be, suggesting it might be trash, a crocodile, or a big snake like a Burmese python. However, this isn't the first time such mysterious creatures have been spotted in China, with the famous Kiwana's lake monster being another example. People shared their guesses about the creature in the video, adding to the mystery. Legendary Nessie. By the river, someone claimed to have spotted the legendary Loch Ness monster. They described a peculiar creature in the water, saying it looked like Nessie. The witness saw a big, mysterious shape moving through the river, constantly appearing above the surface. It made a sound and stayed in that position for a few seconds before disappearing into the depths, never to be seen again. Well, we're not certain what it was, but here's a guess. It could have been a regular fish, considering its large tail fin. Or perhaps the myth isn't just a myth anymore. Strange swimmer. In the river waters of a canal in the state of Mexico, a rather odd sight baffled onlookers. Two videos emerged on Facebook, setting the internet ablaze with speculation. Mistaken for a mere floating object, the mysterious creature, its tail rhythmically swaying as it navigated the currents, the online world erupted with theories. Yet the identity of this swimmer remains unknown. Godzilla. A strange creature showed up 2 times in the River Thames in London, stirring up quite the fuss. Some folks figured it might be a whale, or just a big heap of junk bobbing about. But it created a commotion and everyone wanted to know what it was. But with those waves bouncing around like crazy, some folks started tossing around the name Godzilla because all they got caught sight of was a massive hump and something even bigger lurking below the surface. Piranha's Pawn. A group of friends on a fishing expedition in Colombia set their sights on piranhas in a river, armed with nothing but their wits and some cow intestine to lure in the notorious piranhas. The meat-eating fishes immediately took the bait and started devouring it. This allowed our fishermen to catch the fish on the boat, but for some odd reasons they did let them go. Probably they changed their minds after witnessing such a glimpse. Gator Tree. The Amazon caiman, a massive beast with hardly any foes, found itself in a bit of a pickle when something mighty from below gave it a nudge. Now, usually we're used to seeing a cat stuck up a tree, but this time it was a crocodile in the mix. And did it make us scratch our heads, wondering how on earth did it end up there? But you know what they say, the culprit might just be the legendary Yucca Mama, a snake rumored to be nearly 60 meters long, giving the gator a gentle push towards the branches. Some folks still ponder if that creature roams around these parts even today. Ain't that a tale to ponder over your morning coffee? Eater snake. A group of tourists gathered around a crackling tall grass in the river. Confusion erupted among them as they witnessed a scene straight out of a horror movie. There was an unbelievably huge snake. When observed the video closer, they saw that something was inside the belly of the giant snake that had made the snake appear even larger than his normal size. It can be seen in the video that the snake has been twisting itself around something and slowly swallowing it in. However, the snake was so massive that the scales on his body were easily visible. Sand snake. These scenes can be a real nail-biter for those with a fear of snakes. Perhaps in the most bizarre of hideouts, this brave soul must have had the eyes of an eagle to spot a snake blending in so seamlessly. So he takes matters into his own hands, giving the snake a gentle nudge with a stick, saying, "All right, buddy, your camouflage game is up. Time to reveal yourself before you give someone a heart attack." Snake bite. In the jungle of Giraman, where even the mighty anacondas have a taste for neighborhood pets, a legendary showdown occurred. An anaconda stretching a jaw-dropping 8 meters long decided a hapless dog was its main course. The community, witnessing this bizarre dinner party, sprang into action and managed to apprehend the colossal serpent. Their heroic efforts couldn't reverse the fate of the unfortunate pup. That ended up as the bulge in the snake's midsection. Talk about a meal with a tail, literally. Worm bait. Two fishermen placed a hanging worm bait in the river, dreaming of reeling in a whopper, but upon their return they were greeted by an unexpected sight. A half-gnawed catfish. It seemed another critter beat them to the feast. Perhaps piranhas or some sneaky diner was enjoying the meal when it heard the fishermen approaching the bait. Seems the river's dining scene is more cutthroat than they bargained for. Smashed turtle. During a hiking trip, a man found some strange footprints in the woods. They were big, like those of a giant, but he wasn't sure what made them. He initially thought they might be bear tracks, but no bears were in the area.
Was this a bear track or something? Because we do have bears around.
As he kept walking, he found a mud hole with a turtle inside. The turtle looked like it was either dead or just wanted the man to leave. It was an eastern box turtle, enjoying a mud bath.
Little eastern box turtle having a nice mud bath.
Now, the man was puzzled about who or what made those giant footprints. River gold. As the Euphrates River gets smaller because of regional water rules and a long dry spell, people are finding something unexpected. Gold spread out like small rocks along its edges. This discovery has made folks wonder. Some think it's connected to an old story about the river, showing where its treasures are. Videos of people rushing to mine the gold have made folks even more curious. If this golden mountain is real, it could cause trouble, with folks fighting over the new riches. But one thing is for sure, whether it's a sign of bad times or just a lucky find, the mysteries of the Euphrates keep catching people's attention all over the world. Climbing perch. The climbing perch, a fish with a talent of terrestrial travel. Sure, they're not built for marathons, but once they flop onto land, they're like the James Bond of the fish world. Sleek, stealthy, and ready for action. These adventurers don't hang around for a fish out of water story. Instead, they've got a one-way ticket back to their aquatic life, effortlessly slipping through the mud, leaving puzzled onlookers wondering what they just witnessed. Paving turtles. On a calm beach, a kind man used his hands to make a path for small turtles to reach the ocean. Without him, many of the turtles would have died. With every scoop of sand, he helps the turtles move safely to the water, protecting them from danger. His kindness is clear as he works hard to ensure the turtles have a chance to survive. When the last turtle made it to the ocean, he felt happy, knowing he had importantly helped them. Prophecy stones. If you see me weep with such harsh words written on them, the stones indicating a hunger and famine appeared once again. Initially placed by the German governments in the 1600s, when severe droughts hit the region, they served as a medium of communication between the hungry people who came looking for food and the government, which was later drowned in the rivers. But not just stones made by the government, but many people wrote on them to let future generations be aware of coming catastrophe, as thrown to the deep river, they would only show up when the river would dry to the point they're at. So, is it true? Is there a major famine really on the way? Sea sponge. Near a riverbank, there was this strange river critter that seemed like a rock at first, but when you turned it over, it had a soft underside. The person who found it said it even started to change its shape to fit better in their hand. At first glance, it was probably a kind of sea sponge, but honestly, no one was too sure. It was just weird how it could look like a rock, but then be all squishy underneath. Well, here's a mental note to keep an eye out for these mysterious creatures. Waves maker. Earlier this year in New Orleans City Park, a mysterious creature was captured on film, causing ripples in its serene lagoons. Several visitors to City Park recently spotted something unfamiliar.
Several visitors to City Park recently have spotted something they've never seen before.
This enigmatic aquatic being resembled a fish with strange scales and a striking red tail, leaving park visitors puzzled.
It's nothing I've ever seen before, on land or in sea.
Speculation swirled across the internet, suggesting it could be a genetically modified creation set free in the park's waters. Even a local preschool specializing in sea creatures couldn't identify it. Could this creature be New Orleans' own Loch Ness monster? The mystery of this unknown creature remained unsolved. Jelly blob. Encountering a clip from October 2018 in an unidentified place, there was a sight of a large jellyfish-like mass on the shore. Trying to discern its true identity, touching or handling it was the last thing the locals should have done, despite their curiosity. Not only did it appear repulsive, but it also posed a potential danger. This jelly-like mass could have been anything, from a jellyfish to an extraterrestrial entity, and its sting might have been fatally harmful. Bison skull. Once again, the unknown was unveiled by the river in eastern Montana. Centuries-old bison skulls emerged. A man fishing by the river spotted a massive skeleton drifting towards him. After hauling it to the bank, he realized it was no ordinary find. It was an ancient head. However, the skull appeared to be broken, as it was missing one of his horns.
Back of the skull is there. Second horn is completely broken off.
Eager to learn more, he sent their discovery to an archaeologist. After weeks of research, the archaeologist confirmed it was indeed a fossil of an ancient bison, or possibly from an extinct species. Unicorn skull. If you thought unicorns were only from myths, you're in for a surprise. Recently, some local men found fossils suggesting unicorns were real animals that existed before humans. Alongside humans, an engineer from Egypt discovered a unicorn skull while working on the pyramids. Researchers weren't entirely sure if they were real, but they did confirm that such creatures once roamed the earth. Despite resembling horses with a horn on their heads, they had more similarities with rhinos. Alien skeleton. A man was walking by a river in Vietnam a few years ago when he spotted an out-of-the-world object lying on the bank. Filled with curiosity, he decided to examine it. To him, it resembled the skeleton of a strange, unknown creature, with a shapeless head atop a twisted body and long, skinny legs. None of its features resembled any known creature. The unidentified skeleton remained a mystery until it was taken to a lab for analysis. There, the mystery was solved, and the strange skeleton turned out to be nothing more than a part of an old tree trunk that had grown oddly, taking on the shape of some otherworldly creature. River crossing. While boating on the river, a man spotted a strange creature walking in the water in an uncharted part of the Amazon River. Thinking it might be a bear crossing the river, he tried to get a closer look. However, it turned out to be a different bipedal creature with no resemblance to any known animal. It was incredibly fast, unlike any wild being, making it almost impossible for it to cross the river swiftly. Given its size, the man decided it wasn't wise to approach it closely. Instead, he captured rare moments from a safe distance, allowing researchers to gather more clues about the unknown beast lurking in the unexplored woods. Rat King. This strange event happened near a river in Russia. A man stumbled upon something bizarre. When he looked under the greenery and moved the branches aside, he saw a strange group of rats tangled together and trembling. It was uncanny at first, but later he realized it was a rat king, a group of rats with their tails intertwined and bound together. Usually rats in this situation don't survive, but this was the first time a living rat king of 5 mice was spotted. Although in folklore, rat kings were associated with superstitions and were often considered a bad omen, especially linked to plagues. Fleshy jelly. In April 2020, someone filmed something seriously strange. A bunch of jellyfish that seemed like they were made of flesh gliding beneath a dock. These weren't your usual jellyfish. They had the jellyfish feel, but their shape was totally different. What really scared the person filming was that these jellyfish just appeared suddenly and hung around like they owned the place. But here's the thing. Just when experts were about to investigate this jellyfish mystery, poof, they vanished into the water. Luckily, the camera was rolling, or people would have thought it was all just a crazy story. Bait syrup. Instead of using the traditional method of attaching bait to a fishing line, a new technique was employed to monitor the fish population. An unidentified fisherman accidentally spilled what seemed to be serum onto the surface of a wetland. Within moments, numerous fish emerged on the surface, making it easier for fishermen to catch them. Initially mistaken for blood, the serum caused the fish to struggle for breath as they surfaced. This caused concern among viewers, who feared severe consequences for marine animals due to environmental pollution. Scale shredder. A strange creature resembling a mix of a snake and an eel was captured in a random video shared by an unidentified source. The footage depicted a worm-like or snake-like being repeatedly coiling upon itself, rotating continuously. The source claimed to have found this creature in their fishing net, but couldn't identify it. Hoping for answers, they shared the video online. Experts speculated that it was probably a snake attempting to shed its scales. Dino tracks. Many rivers worldwide are drying up, revealing surprising secrets from the past. One of those hidden realities was uncovered a few years back. In Texas, a dried-up river exposed enormous footprints believed to be from a prehistoric lizard called large prehistoric. This lizard, estimated to weigh 14,000 pounds, roamed the area around 113 million years ago. The dried-up riverbed, once a seashore, now offers a rare glimpse into the ancient past, providing a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. It's time for today's open discussion. Well, this ain't a scene straight out from a sci-fi movie, but an actual footage recorded in Poland. The clip, lasting 2 minutes, begins with the men in the white suits gathering around a mysterious figure on the riverbank. They then lift the figure, revealing what seems to be a large fishtail. And that's right. You know where this buildup leads to? Well, we aren't talking about Aquaman from DC, but a real-life merman. Paramedic-like individuals bring a stretcher as the suited men bring the being closer. Once on the stretcher, the merman is clearly visible, with a long beard resting on his chest. The paramedics then transport the merman to an undisclosed location. Following the video's online posting, some claimed it as proof of merman existence, but no further information has emerged since. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.